fail now, you're in trouble. And I think that this is great about the NBA now, particularly in the East. You're looking at this logjam that you were just describing. Everybody's got to keep focus and keep their concentration, or you're going to be out of the playoffs.
Davis has 14 as he hits both free throws. Here's Martin to Jefferson. Toronto is on a 10-2 run right now. Kenyon Martin, another Toronto rebound inside. And the Raptors are +4 in rebounding tonight. Childs wheels and feeds to Olajuwon. Oh, what a shot by Akeem.
It's a very good shot, but you got to give Childs again credit. I like the impact that Childs has had on this Toronto team. I think he gives them a little bit more aggressiveness on the break, a little bit more aggressiveness on defense and pressuring the ball.
Olajuwon off the bench, 5 points in 12 minutes. Miss outside, a Davis rebound. And Childs the other way. Played here from 96-98.
Now you want to see if they can get some movement in their offensive half court, because you basically have more of a big team, guys who need to cut or penetrate to the basket.
Olajuwon again, trying to make it 2 in a row. Jason Kidd, an incredible rebounder for a guard. Kind of goes helter-skelter the other way, regains his footing, and curls back in looking for Collins, who is held by shackles. He was in a handcuff.
Broadcast or other use of dissemination of this telecast or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Empire State Building in the background, ground zero in the foreground. And across the Hudson River, the Continental Airlines Arena, home to the New Jersey Nets, who trailed Toronto by 1, 43-42. Kevin Harlan with Hall of Fame coach John Thompson. Great to have you with us this evening. Both teams have led by as many as 6. John, the offensive rebound of Toronto has been simply spectacular tonight.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why Clark and Williams were put in the game. I mean, these guys are very vicious on the board, and this is even Vince Carter going on the offensive board. But Clark and Williams primarily just get a fingertip on it, they touch it, they battle, and that's the strength of this team. You've got to keep them off of the offensive boards because they don't have a lot of offensive outpower. It's extremely important for you to box these guys out.
And John, they're shooting off the offensive rebound 73%. Game total 35%.
Yeah, you know, and shooting 22% in other shots. So obviously, the way to the promised land is definitely on the offensive boards for Toronto.
And let's send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, talking to Lenny Wilkins, he thought that Vince Carter set the tone by not settling for the jump shots, by being aggressive. He said the rest of the team followed suit. Obviously, they were not shooting the ball well, but they got the second chance points, 17-6. Byron Scott said we were not being out-hustled. It seems that they're just being more aggressive, going for the offensive boards and also getting to the free throw line 15 times.
All right, Craig, here's Kerry Kittles out there with Van Horn, Aaron Williams, Jason Kidd, and Kenyon Martin. That field goal by the Nets breaks a 4.5-minute drought back to the first half. It's Keon Clark, Davis, Williams, Vince Carter, and Alvin Williams out there for the Toronto Raptors. Antonio Davis ducking inside, and a rebound by Martin.
And even Antonio Davis is hitting towards the basket. I agree with Lenny 100%. Vince Carter is probably being as aggressive going to the basket as I've seen him in a long time, even though he's noticeably limping also out there.
Aaron Williams across the lane as he was working on the defense of Antonio Davis. Keon Clark picks up his 3rd personal foul. From the perimeter, you can see what Vince Carter has done and what he has not done.
Well, and you can see the increase in terms of taking three-point shots and looking to take the attempt outside. Vince Carter is so athletic and so talented that by going to the basket, he puts so much pressure on the defense, he wouldn't even need that fadeaway. When he faced the basket, if he attacked a lot more, the defender would back off of it.
1 of 2 tonight. 2 free throws made by Aaron Williams at the other end. And here comes Jerome Williams. Toronto hasn't scored from the field in 3.5 minutes. There's a good steal. The quick hands of Kidd. That'll shepherd the Nets the other way.
And Martin has done as good a job as anybody I've seen on Clark because he's very physical with him and doesn't allow Clark to have the space to use his quickness.
Antonio Davis. Rebound by Kidd. And he has collected 6 rebounds tonight. At the other end, he drills that shot off the back. And a foul called on New Jersey. And it was on Aaron Williams. And he has assessed his 4th of the game. Jason Kidd has gone a disappointing 1 of 8 from the field. 2 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists.
He might be 1 of 8, Kevin, from the field, but I certainly believe that he's caused a lot of other people out there to be able to get baskets just based on his ability to push the ball, his ability to hit the open guy.
Vince Carter, 3 of 12.
See, I don't like that. You know what I mean? I think that's good. It looks good. But in the same token, when Vince was down on the block penetrating, he caused things to happen. He caused help to come over. As a result, he got guys with less ability, easy shots.
Then he makes the foul at the other end, and he's tagged with his first. John Lenny Wilkins, you talked with him before the game. Does he feel like he is on the hot seat in Toronto?
Well, he didn't discuss that. I think he was more concerned with wanting to win. Lenny is so competitive, as we know, the winningest coach in the history of the NBA. All coaches have been through what he's gone through. Your team hit a certain span. You want to solve the problem. You just want a W.
The Toronto media has been, in this case, a good part of this season. Martin will inbound to Kittles. Over 2.
Well, that's always the case. The media definitely will get on you if you're not winning. That's to be expected. But I think players have to accept more of that responsibility. They're quick to tell you how insignificant a coach is. Well, he's just as insignificant when you're losing if you're not out there giving everything that you have to give and make certain that the team wins.
Kidd picks up his first foul. Toronto will inbound. Almost 5 minutes with no field goals from the Raptors. They've missed their last 6.
Well, and this is a team that's got to move because now, like in your half-court set, Vince is probably one of the few. Alvin maybe can hit the outside shot. Certainly Davis can hit the medium range shot. But if you get movement, the same guys that are getting these offensive rebounds are able to get to the basket and things open up and you're able to get easy baskets.
Kittle right down the lane. Oh, what a play. Great detonation by Kerry Kittles as he takes it in for 2. Kittles in the game now has scored 6. 3 fouls on Jerome Williams. Kittles in the strike.
Well, and the floor should have closed, Kevin. Yeah. That's a perfect example of how jumping becomes a detriment. Guys have a tendency to stay back, not cut off penetration, let you go to the basket and try to block the shot because they're good jumpers. Kerry Kittles is too good to let that happen to.
Clark gallops inside. Davis down the baseline. 2 big bodies, John, moving awful quick. 18 for Davis.
Very big bodies going, and that was your center coming out of the corner going towards the basket. Kevin like that. Davis
is 7 of 11. Kittles with the fake on Carter, which buys him some space. And a rebound by Jerome Williams. He's now got 12 rebounds tonight, John, for Toronto.
And that's the beautiful thing, Kevin, about Jerome. Jerome is always in the mix, getting their fingers on it, hustling, works hard on defense, works extremely hard on the boards.
Carter with the drive and the floater. Rebound inside, and Carter can't get it. Here's Kittles to Kidd, to the trailing Kittles, to the trailing Van Horn for 3. Boy, this better than look horrible on the shot. New Jersey 0-6 down shooting 3s. Martin trying to go up for the rebound right there and Kidd the other way.
Well, his pace is to the advantage of the Nets because I think they've got better transition players right now than Toronto has.
Martin gets the 2, held on the play by Keon Clark. And Kenyon Martin to the free throw line for the New Jersey Nets.
Martin is a warrior. I mean, you look at him, look at the jersey being grabbed right here, but still he goes up. You look at Martin and Jason Kidd's body mannerisms out on the court. These guys are about business, and they're very intense and very physical in their play.
Martin at the free throw line. 9 of 12 free throw shooting for New Jersey. There's Van Horn who was fouled as he went up on a shot off the block. Keon Clark was there. And Clark now has 5 personal fouls. They've brought in Michael Stewart, a former Sacramento King, and a guy who sees very little playing time. Alvin Williams with 5 on the clock. Rebound by Van Horn inside for New Jersey.
See, it's an absolute must for Toronto to play good defense at half court because their offense is affected by their defense. They don't have a lot of offense going for them with this unit that they have in there now. They've got to get it off of their defense.
Keith Van Horn tonight has not been all that accurate. He's got 5 points. He is 2 of 7 with 5 rebounds, but it just gave New Jersey their biggest lead tonight of 7.
The Nets go to a zone, Kevin. They come down there. Look like they were in a 1-2-2.
Jason Collins now in for New Jersey. Shot clock at 6. Williams tries to penetrate and puts up a floater. Shot clock at 1. Shot clock violation. Nice defense by the New Jersey Nets.
Well, and looking at this, I mean, these guys are very unselfish. The ball does move, go into Van Horn. Van Horn throws a little jump hook successfully as a result of 3 passes and moving the defense of Toronto.
Here's Collins, who came off the bench and was terrific, 5 of 5 in the first half. Working inside right here. Van Horn finally gets it out and puts it in.
Well, see, it's very important right now for Toronto to tighten their belt and really, play right now. This is extremely important, and that's a bad sign because the Nets beat them at their own game, hustling for loose balls. Also, the Nets are daring them to take the outside shots. They go back in the zone because they see this lineup that Toronto has in there now.
Carter to Alvin Williams for 2, and they needed that in the worst way. At the other end, Kerry Kittles for 3. And a rebound retrieved by Antonio Davis. Davis with 18 points and 4 rebounds, make it 5 rebounds tonight. That's a foul called on Kittles.
Byron Scott made a faster move just then on that call than anybody on the floor has made all night.
3 now on Kittles.
Well, you look at this again, it's the zone. Jerome is trying to penetrate through the zone. Obviously, the Nets feel that Toronto's got to be able to beat them from the outside.
Del Curry checks in for the Toronto Raptors. A quick release, as fast as you'll find. A good screen by Stewart for Williams. A missed 2 and a rebound by Martin.
And Scott went back to man that time. I like the way he mixed his defense up there in that second.
Van Horn taps around. Here comes Kidd, who's only 1 of 8 shooting himself tonight. The Nets 45% shooting. Raptors 32% shooting. Another miss and over the backboard and out of bounds. One of those nights for Jason Kidd. No field goal since the first minute of the game.
But Kevin, the interesting thing again about him is that all young players should look at it. He contributes in so many other ways to this team defensively. He contributes rebounding. He contributes in setting up other people with passes. So when he's not on, he's still a tremendous asset to his team.
Kenyon Martin picks up his 3rd personal foul. 5:27 to play here in the 3rd quarter with Hall of Fame coach John Thompson and Emmy Award-winning reporter Craig Sagan. Kevin Harlan. And a dismal night for Jay Kidd. Rebounding in the game, +4 for Toronto. Carter, he's only 3 of 15 is Vince Carter, shooting from the floor. Antonio Davis, another great shot inside. The Raptors have led by as many as 6. Alvin Williams. And outside, Vince Carter. A disappointing 3 of 16 shooting tonight for Carter. Oh, what a pass and what a play by Kenyon Martin. So fun, almost like he's hang gliding. Suspended in slow motion. He was in the air so long.
And what a beautiful pass, too. That was coordination between 2 players because Martin made a beautiful move in setting it up, and Kidd made a beautiful one in passing.
Wow.
But again, here goes Davis, your guy, Kevin. He is alive and in the game. He's playing with some spirit.
John, 23 points, 9 in this 3rd quarter, but a contorted shot every time he is launched.
Well, and he also realizes he has Collins on him down there, too. He's trying to feast on the youngster and give him a little bit of experience.
Martin took it inside. Carter picks up his 2nd personal foul.
Well, you look at that. I mean, that's just a great pass, a great execution. Martin pushed his man up the lane a little bit, spun, which shows good footwork. in the execution of the pass. You will do things like that if you know you have a point guard or a perimeter player that is capable of making the pass. Players don't move sometimes, don't do things without the ball because they don't have a guy that can deliver the mail.
Look at Jay Kidd at the free throw line, Kenyon Martin. You know, the two pillars on this team, Martin and then Keith Van Horn, who is checked out of the game. John, two very opposite styles of play, two very opposite personalities.
Well, Van Horn is more finesse. Martin will beat you up if he has to beat you up. He's aggressive, he's strong, he's what a team needs, particularly a team like this. He's laid on clock the whole game, taking away a lot of clock's quickness, and he doesn't mind being physical, and that's a great thing sometimes, as long as you do it intelligently.
Vince Carter carves an inch down the lane, hobbling the other way. He's got 15. Don't forget about those 6 flagrant fouls that have been assessed this season on Martin. Another thing to add what you were just saying about the two.
Oh, yeah. Byron Scott and I talked about that a little bit. I think he had a consciousness of it. He was very curious and very conscious of that happening. I told him, just be very careful how much you take that out of him.
Martin looked like he was the recipient of a flagrant foul right there.
You know, deal with the fact that this guy has courage. You know, here's a team that worries about his toughness level. Byron Scott said that he was concerned about the aggressiveness level. I like some of the young kids. I think Collins, you know, has also been very aggressive out here today. But where would you be without a Kenyon Martin if you're looking at the level of aggressiveness on the team? Jason Kidd is another guy.
Tonight, 1 of 10.
And Davis, again, you know, really imposes his will on the boards at times. He's very aggressive. And you see that body language, Kevin, from him that I'm talking about. The guy doesn't act like a corpse. He acts like he's alive out there and is moving and is into the game.
New Jersey foul call. And that goes on Jason Collins. He has 4. And listen to this. It is a physical game, isn't it?
That hurts a little bit. And it becomes a lot more aggressive, Kevin, around March, because these guys know what is at stake. What is at stake. You showed the closeness, you know, on the graph that we had here of the teams now. You'll notice that these teams now are playing far more aggressive. The games are becoming far more intense because more is at stake and people are jockeying for playoff position now.
Only about 20 left league-wide, John, after tonight. Truly a quarter of the season is ahead of us, and it's going to mean a lot.
And no place for the meat, Kevin. No place for the meat.
No. Duck your head if you can't handle it. Here comes Collins to Lucius Harris, setting up and over Davis. And New Jersey leads by 3. They've led by 9, and Harris off the bench has put in 8 points tonight. Toronto shooting 35% from the floor.
Well, you want to see this Toronto team step up. I mean, you've got to have a feeling for what time it is. You know, whether it's an individual game or whether it's part of the season or whether it's the fact that you've been losing ball games. But Antonio Davis definitely seems to be a guy who is emotionally charged into this and really playing.
Toronto hits their second 3-point shot of the game. Collins with a miss. That's his first miss of the night. He was 5 of 5 until then. Alvin Williams.
See, Alvin is another guy who some of his quickness is negated by a leg injury that he's having.
Alvin Williams has got 6 points and 1 assist tonight. Here comes New Jersey. 44% shooting for the Nets. Approaching a minute to play here in the third quarter. Kidd. Another free throw. Another miss. And a vicious rebound pulled off the glass by Antonio Davis.
That Davis guy is right in there again. So, you know, it's really interesting in watching. If you watch a guy like Jason Kidd and all the things that he does on the court. He got the rebound, and now he's down before most of the Toronto players.
Stewart with the rebound.
Very aggressively. You better be on your heels getting back with him around.
That is New Jersey's first field goal in 3.5 minutes. And Kidd tonight, 2 of 12. Gets it, 5 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists for Kidd.
And I love the way Byron Scott is mixing his defenses. A little whole court pressure, goes back to half, uses a little zone. You know, he mixes it up and keeps Toronto off balance with some of his defenses also.
Here comes Davis. Now in the clutches of a double team. Shot clock at 4. Williams for 3. Rebound by Martin.
Well, and Martin was guarding Davis that time. That's a change because Martin is far more aggressive and more physical than some of the youngsters that were guarding him before.
Kidd with a couple deceptive fakes inside. Stewart was right there as Keith Van Horn watches his teammate Jason Kidd try to manufacture some offense. And the foul on the play is on Stewart for a second time. Let's take a look at Kidd. And how important was it, John, when Byron Scott finally got Kidd on this run, for them to see eye to eye on the way that the offense would run?
Well, it's extremely important, but it's also a tribute to Byron Scott's ability to coach. We talk about coaching attributes, well, his ability to have enough patience to communicate to this man a new system that he comes into. They do a lot of things that Princeton did, a lot of movement, a lot of cut, and a lot of the rotations. Most pros want to isolate, go 2-on-2, go 1-on-1. So I think that definitely Jason Kidd deserves a lot of credit, but Byron Scott also deserves an awful lot of credit.
Vince Carter with the ball, 4 of 19 shooting tonight, 15 points, 6 points at the free throw line, but those 6 all came in the first quarter.
And you have
nothing since.
Excuse me, Kevin. You have to open it up. See, that gets a jump shot, but they've got guys that are not jump shooters. These people that they have on the floor now for Toronto are penetrators. You got to clear outside. You got to get movement so that you can get to the basket a little bit. And I'm sure that's what Lenny wants him to do, but not just to settle down for the outside jump shot.
69, we are tied. A little more than 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter as Kidd tries to unravel the defense. Rebound by Stewart. Saves it for the Raptors. And Toronto is plus 12.
And very few players can miss as many shots as Kidd has missed in this game, and you still think he's playing well. Simply because of all the other things he does out on the floor to contribute to winning. And one of them is what he's doing right now, is pushing the ball himself, and that causes his teammates to run because they know he's an excellent passer.
And Toronto plus 12 for the rebounder. Kidd. A tough shot, and Kidd's got 9 points, 9 rebounds, and is hovering over his 31st double-double of the season. And Kidd almost single-handedly has revived the New Jersey Nets. Consecutive 16 and 17. So now again you look at Philadelphia at the top there with 29 losses. Miami with 33, 7 teams within 4 games.
And that's the reason, Kevin, for the added intensity. I mean, these guys know what's at stake right now. It's becoming far more competitive. Somebody needs to send a message out there to Toronto now that Miami is winning.
Jason Kidd is sending a message. All 7 points for New Jersey in this fourth quarter for Kidd, who holds the ball with Carter, who tries to drive, and a foul called inside. And Carter gets aggressive for the first time in a long time inside.
Well, and he's going to the basket, Kevin. And if you look at him, he hasn't gone to the foul line since the first quarter where he took 6 shots. In the second quarter, he took none from the foul line. The third quarter, none. Now this is his first in the fourth quarter. When he goes to the basket, he's going to create problems. He's going to help to get guys open who are not as good physically as he is. And you create stuff for your players by doing that.
You know, John, I don't know if he is a leader, but when you have the talent he has, I think there's certain responsibilities, whether you like it or not, whether you are or not, are yours, and you've got to capitalize on them.
Well, and sometimes leadership is you doing your job as hard as you can do it, and then it becomes contagious with everybody else. But I just think that Vince sometimes, you know, gets into this gray area where you don't see this aggressiveness. But now is the time, I mean, for your star to show up. You're down looking at 8 minutes in the ball game. You're in a tight ball game. The game is tied. Who you look for? He's got to be the one to step up right now.
And Carter 4-9. Davis has it knocked away. It's loose as he blows a kiss to his wife. John, you know, the thing about the NCAA tournament is most of the kids never get a chance to play to the next level. And CBS runs this one shining moment, and truly it is for so many programs and so many kids.
Well, and that's why they've got to do the best they can, regardless of whether they go to Final 16, or Final 8, the Final 2, the Final 1. You know, I mean, you play this game, you get out and you do it as best you can. You don't have to, you know, just get out there and do it apathetically. You go out and just hustle.
Here is Davis, who has a spinner over Aaron Williams, who's out there with Kidd, Harris, Kerry Kittles, and Kenyon Martin, who gets the feed, swings it over to Kittles, back to Harris, on top to Kittles, knocked away, Alvin Williams, with the first turnover of the second half for New Jersey.
And you notice, Jason Kidd is as valuable as he can be in terms of intensity. He got the rebound. He led the break. He organized the offense. The one time he wasn't out in front, Toronto took the ball away from him. So he's doing so much now for this team that are little, small, insignificant things.
Kidd with the miss, and now Jason Kidd, 3 of 16 shooting. His counterpart, Vince Carter, 4 of 20 on the bench with a horrible shooting night. And what we're going to see now is that Terry, that's a turnover for Toronto. They've got 12, make it 14 turnovers. The Nets have 12. I don't know, Johnny. This is when you need him to be in there standing up, but obviously the feeling is a neutral.
Well, you need him, and I think, Kevin, he's going through some pain, but right now he's still valuable to them in terms of emotionally giving leadership. You know, sit on the bench with a towel over your head is fine, but, you know, a young person like that sometimes doesn't realize how much he means to a team in terms of his attitude, his emotions. Might not be his personality, but the same token it is needed.
Approaching 4 minutes left in the game, a 2-point game. We've called it a vital game for Toronto because limited games remain and they got a long way to go. And Carter's not in the game. And Keon Clark is on the bench with 5 fouls. Antonio Davis rejected inside.
And again, it was Martin. And Martin has done a better job because he's more physical in getting out there. I realized that Williams was guarding him initially. Martin came in from the weak side. But Martin does a lot of things purely on his aggressiveness and being able to help out.
Antonio Davis has a game-high 25 points. And here comes Vince Carter back into the game for the Toronto Raptors. Move in Honduras, rehabbing and building homes with his wife and members of his family. So, Danny, if you're getting us on the international feed from Turner, we say hello. Congratulations, and we look forward to your return next week. The marquee matchup right there. Horrible shooting with Kidd and Carter. Here's Stewart, who's provided good minutes off the Lenny Wilkins bench.
Well, and Toronto's running a little flex offense now. Everybody's moving, and I like that because that enables this man to get to the basket.
Here he goes, driving, John, trying to manufacture it inside. And now Vince Carter tonight has put in 19 points.
Well, and the movement of all 5 people opens up the floor. It doesn't just relegate you to shooting jump shot.
Kidd. Martin. Picked up by Davis, doubled by Williams. Kidd to Kittles for 3, and a rebound by Alvin Williams. We're tied at 75. 0 of 11 shooting 3-point shots tonight for New Jersey. Nice shot by Morris Peterson. His first 2 couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, and he's another person that has to get off of that injured list mentally, Kevin. You know, this is the time of year where his team needs him. He's got a lot of skills, and he needs to get a little bit more upbeat in this game also.
He broke an index finger, John, and missed a lot of games. Here's Kidd into Martin, guarded by both Williams and Davis. A rebound inside by Stewart, and a foul on New Jersey.
Everybody should know that.
Leads tonight. Toronto has led by as many as 6. New Jersey has led by as 9. And this 2-point shot there by Carter. A loose ball foul inside.
Take your time.
As Morris Peterson hits the deck hard on a very rugged rebound attempt underneath the basket.
Well, and again, that's the intensity that is going on now.
5 fouls on Lucius Harris. We'll let you take a look at it. And the elbow right there. Nets are shooting 38%. 38% from the field. Kidd slithers inside and can't make it go on a foul. Inside to Harris and a whistle. Step out of bounds. Indeed he did. Turnover story now. The Nets with 15. The Raptors with 15. And rebounding in the game, Toronto plus 12.
Interesting. I'd like to see whether they go to Davis, because Davis was having a good day inside. He's really going to Vince, and really the lane is flooded. But that's good. He's still, see, now he's taking the hit. When you go to the basket, you're going to get punished. You're going to get pushed a little bit. But you can't be reluctant to do it, because that puts so much pressure on the defense.
Toronto with the lead. Carter with 21. He's got 6 in the quarter. Kidd. And Harris for the lead with a 3. Oh, and a huge shot. Tonight by New Jersey. They are 1 of 12 shooting 3-point shots tonight. And Lucius Harris off the bench, 11 points in 25 minutes. And now the crowd is on their feet and they are alive. Carter. And a Martin pass. Harris saves it. Van Horn on top. And Jason Kidd is doubled over in extreme pain at the other end of the floor.
Man, this doesn't look good, because he's holding his wrist. And Kidd is the kind of guy that a coach responds to when he's hurt. I mean, the minute you see something happen to him, you're out there real quick.
John, I believe he took a knee. Oh! You felt it. I felt it. And Jason Kidd certainly felt it. Timeout. Carter's got 21-6 in this quarter. Michael Stewart back out there. Antonio Davis and Alvin Williams. 39 seconds to play in regulation. That's by 1. It's Kidd. Shot clock at 13, big clock at 33. Kidd forces the issue. Oh, Harris again! 5 gigantic points from Lucius Harris. No surprise, Del Curry is in the game with Williams, Carter, Stewart, and Davis. Kidd is watching Williams. A difference of 3 seconds, game clock, shot clock. Davis twirling inside and a foul. And they assess it on the Nets. Kenyon Martin's got 5.
Well, and Curry was open when he came off of that screen. He was a little upset. They went to Carter and then went inside.
Davis, for all of his excellence tonight, John, no scoring in the 4th quarter.
Well, and I think one of the reasons is Kenyon Martin. They put Kenyon Martin on him, and he was far more physical, than some of the younger players, Collins and some of the younger guys in guarding him. And definitely, I think they've got to be concerned right now too, because of the fact that we got Jason Kidd on the other side. They can get the ball in his hands, he's going to make something good happen.
Childs comes in, and Del Curry will take a seat on the Toronto bench.
Because Childs is a better defensive player. They're trying to put Childs and Williams to put pressure on Harris and Kidd.
Davis from the free throw line tonight, 9 of 9. Jefferson comes back in the game. And here's Martin. To Kidd.
And see, this is, because he does this, and Childs comes out aggressively, and that's why he was put in the ball game. Now, these free throws are very important.
2 seconds.
Against the wall and coming in here, and obviously they've played more competitively tonight. It's still not open. Del Curry is in the game who can hit the 3. Alvin can hit the 3, and Carter can hit the 3. So it'll be very interesting to see if they go for the 3, try to get a quick 2, and then defensively try to step up.
Here's Curry, the 3 in the top, and fouled. He was fouled by Lucius Harris. Can you believe that? That means 3 free throws at the stripe for Del Curry. And Del Curry is a good free throw shooter at 86% this season.
Well, you found him in the act of shooting.
Oh.
And that guy that makes the decision right here. He's the one, he's your playmaker. He'll look for the shadow, he'll find somebody open, but he's going to the basket, going hard.
Get home, second. Childs. And that does it, and New Jersey wins on a tap-in by Kenyon Martin on a miss by Jason Kidd. There it is again as Kidd was twirling inside. And no one blocked out Martin.
And that's been the story of the game, Kevin. I mean, they've been attacking the offensive board the entire game. Both Martin and Kidd are tremendously competitive people. They refuse to lose. You look at this, and Jason Kidd goes to the basket, pulls the defense, all of them on him. They've got about 4 or 5 guys around it. Martin just comes behind, puts it up, puts it in. But really, Toronto has been hurt all game by not covering the offensive boards and keeping them off of the offensive board.
New Jersey wins their 6th consecutive home game as we send you to Craig Sager.
Well, Kenyon Martin had the winning shot for these two guys right here. 16 points in the 4th quarter. John Thompson sitting there. What do you do in the 4th quarter? He says, I don't care. You just put the ball in Jason Kidd's hands. He'll make something happen. What were you trying to do?
Well, I was going to, take it for the last shot. I wasn't going to give them an opportunity. And, I was just going to take it on home and see what happens. And, Kmart came and followed. It was a great, Kmart played well this whole, whole game. And so Lou put us in a position to win the game. And, Kmart had the big basket.
Well, you went from 6th man award winner maybe this year to #1 cheerleader. What were you doing when you fouled Del Curry?
I was just trying to contest the shot. The refs called a foul. I got a little excited about it. But I'm glad Kmart, came up with the winning basket. It's been a tough fight for us out west, and we needed this win.